Hello, fellow traders. Nutty Bar Trading coming to you. And this is the summary report for, I'm not even sure what we're calling this series. Is this like day number 2? I guess it is. We're going to call this like day number 2 of testing the S&P strategies. I guess we're calling it that. I think we need a better name though. But this is in such an early stage that we don't even need an official name yet. But basically, if you're new here, if you're just tuning in for the first time, then I feel kind of, I don't have enough time to explain everything. But basically, I'm documenting and journaling my trading experience where I am a new trader. I consider myself a new trader. And I am trying to become consistently profitable. I'm not there yet. And I am learning. So right now, I am testing a different strategy. And my only goal is to follow my rules. I have very specific rules for my entries and my exits, and I just follow it. And either it's going to be a winner or a loser, it doesn't really matter. And we're just logging everything and trying to collect a lot of data. I have back tested this strategy with promising results. How would I say? There is definitely some issues with this strategy, and I think you'll see it today. But that's why we're testing it in a live environment, because we've already, in just doing it 2 days, testing it in a live environment versus back testing, there's just things that come up where you don't discover when back testing. So, we're just testing it, not really as focused on the numbers and the dollar amount. Obviously, that is important. But right now, I really want to make sure that I'm just following my rules, because as soon as I deviate from my rules and I don't follow them, then all of a sudden my information for this test is going to be inaccurate. So the most important thing is for me is to follow my rules. And we did that today. We followed the rules today. Now, things didn't go well, but we still followed the rules, and it was just one of those days where we had a lot of losses, and that's okay. We want to experience these losses now. Now's the time when we want them. So let's just dive in and just go over the trades. Did have one. I made a mistake on one trade. You probably see here the $1,600 loss. That was an accidental double entry. I decided to just leave it like that. I didn't want to manipulate the data really, but that is what that was. That was an accident. I double clicked and I meant to only click once, and it put me in twice. And obviously it was a loser, but so one thing I wanted to show, so how I'm documenting, how I'm journaling these trades is, if I click on this, obviously this is using TradeZella. I've been using TradeZella for quite some time. One thing I make note of is, when I'm entering a trade, I assign it a playbook, and then I can check box making sure that I followed all my entry criteria and also my exit criteria. Basically what happened, this case stopped out of all contracts, and then if the trade was counter trend or not. Basically, I'm also logging each trade if the trade was going with the trend or if it was going counter trend. And that's something I want to discuss a little bit about today. So we had a lot of setups. Again, the setups are based off of let's just show basically these zones. These are my support and resistance zones, and I'm just trading off of them basically. And I'm using other criteria for my entries that I don't want to get into too much right now. It's too early to really get into the details. But one thing noticed in my back testing and now we're seeing it in the live testing, is trading against the trend. I have my lose rate, my win rate is really, really low. And now, and that's something I just wanted to test live. I also had some of my biggest winners when doing counter trend trading with this setup. So that's why I wanted to test in a live environment. But the more I'm doing it in a live environment, I'm kind of starting to feel like that is not for me. And counter trend trading has always been really, I'm just not a big fan of it. It goes kind of against my core belief. And I'm taking the entry, I'm taking the setup when I see it, just because, like I said, we're trying to follow the rules, but it really goes against my nature to take some of those trades. But we're doing it for testing purposes. But today was a good example of just, it did not work. We had a lot of setups that were counter trend, and I don't think any one of them worked out. Got stopped out on almost all of them. So it's definitely something, again, I'm not trying to make a very hasty decision. I want to get more data. But one thing I also want to be very aware of is I need to make this where it's something that I can see myself doing in a live environment. And counter trend trading, I'm not sure I'm cut out for it. I'm not sure that's for me. So with that consideration, is basically the counter trend trading, the only way for it to make sense is you have like a 30% win rate, but then your risk to reward can be really, really high. Like you might have, in back testing, I was able to capture like 100-point move. And in reality, in a live environment, am I actually going to be able to sit through a 100-point move? Is that in my nature? Is that me? And I'm not sure it is. So there's a couple of things where I feel like I'm kind of going against my personality. So I'm going to give it a couple more days, but I right now already feel like that's the first thing that I'm going to eliminate, and that is going to be not counter trend trading. We're only going to look for trades and for setups going with the trend, going with the momentum, not going against it. So that's kind of my thoughts today. I do want to show just kind of how this looks like. So if I click on my playbook right here and my playbook rules, this is what's interesting. So right now, this is what I want to focus on. Now my clock is in the way. Hang on, let me move this. So you can see it's, trade was going with the trend. We have a 71% win rate. When we trade counter trend, we have 11% win rate. So almost all of our losses have come from when trading against the trend. So obviously it's really early, so it's not something I want to make hasty decisions on. But again, it's more about my personality and what I feel like I realistically can do, or that I'm going to be comfortable trading. So I think we're getting close to not taking any trades counter trend. Now, here's what we have to do, though. We have to clearly define what is considered with the trend, what is considered against the trend. And what I kind of want to show you is, just opening this, for example, if we zoom out, depends, you can always zoom out almost to where you can kind of justify whatever trend you want to, if that makes sense. So we have to pick a specific time frame, and we have to, I don't want the trend to be discretionary or to be like, yes, I think we're in an uptrend or I think we're in a downtrend. I want to be have a clear, definitive view, or like something where I can, okay, yes, we're definitely in an uptrend. Maybe it could be just as simple as no long trades if we're below the 21 EMA, or no short trades if we're above it. I don't know yet. That's something we have to just kind of work through. And again, I'll probably tonight look at back test a lot of that to see what makes the most sense. And then we'll implement it going live. So that's kind of what testing a strategy looks for, at least for me. And we're just going to do it. Also, just a note, not that this really matters, but we do have a different, so we obviously had what was our loss today? I forget. $4,339. So if you add these two together, it's more than what our drawdown was. So we do have a new 150K account. I know a lot of people mention about why I don't just trade micros to test this strategy. And that is something I have to work through, because eventually we do want to trade the micros. When doing this, I'm not quite sure yet how to do that. We have to work through that. There's a couple different options, but it is really important that I'm looking at the NQ when making the trades. That is very important, not the micro NQ. So anyway, again, we're kind of going down a little bit of a different road, and we're not trading our funded accounts at the moment. We're just kind of resetting in a sense. Is this going to be the strategy I'm going to trade forever going forward? No, not at all. Right now, this strategy is in the very early infant stages of being tested. And, I'm not, it's definitely, please do not trade this strategy, whatever you do. But we just need to work a lot of bugs out. If we can find something that can be consistent, then, we'll obviously look into it further. But that's kind of where we're at right now. I think we're going to leave it at that. I don't think there was anything else to cover. Oh, yes. One more thing. Apex has a 90% sale right now. I'm sure you already know that. This is just me being friendly, or doing a friendly reminder. The sale ends on Thursday, which is in 3 days right here. So make sure, I might grab me a couple more 150K accounts. The way this strategy testing has gone, I might need a couple more. So we will do that. Obviously, use common sense when purchasing evals is what I'm trying to say. Don't just go too crazy on them. I know it's tempting with them at 90% discount, and that's for me more than anyone. That it is what it is, but yeah, that's why I'm using the 150K account. It does give me a little bit more drawdown, a little bit more wiggle room to test this strategy. But anyway, enough blabbering. That's it for tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I did appreciate everyone. Also, one more thing. Tomorrow, I have a meeting tomorrow at 9:30. I probably won't be going live until 10:30. So we're going to have a little bit of a stream delay again tomorrow, as far as I know. So, but that's it. Take care, everyone. Have a great evening, and God bless.